Did you know a single penny could make you a millionaire? I mean, who hasn't dreamed of finding treasure in the most unexpected places, like the bottom of your couch cushions? Well, today we're talking about the 2013 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, that humble little coin you might just have lying around could be worth a staggering $1.1 million. Stick with me, and I'll tell you why this penny is so special, how to spot it, and maybe even inspire you to start digging through your spare change jar. Let's dive into it. Here's the thing, most coins have a mint mark, which tells you where they were made. But a 2013 penny without a mint mark? That's rare. And when I say rare, I mean winning the lottery rare. The value of this coin skyrocketed because of its rarity and a little thing called human error. You see, the no mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, but for some reason, these pennies were made in a small batch, and their flawless condition makes them even more desirable. Coin collectors are all about imperfections or unique traits, and this penny has both history and a big dose of mystery. You're paying for your morning coffee, and the barista gives you change. You glance at your penny, 2013, no mint mark. Boom! That little coin just paid for not only your coffee but also a mansion, a luxury car, and maybe even a yacht. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but you get the point. No mint mark, flip it over and make sure there's no P, D, or S anywhere near Lincoln's portrait. The better the condition, the higher the value. If your penny looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, you might still get a few bucks, but pristine ones are where the big money's at. A relatable story: I didn't always take coin collecting seriously. A few years ago, I was cleaning out my car, and I found a penny stuck in the cup holder. It was sticky, covered in lint, and honestly kind of gross. But as I was about to toss it, something made me look closer. It wasn't anything special, just a 2005 penny, but that moment made me realize how many hidden gems could be right under our noses. Since then, I've started checking every coin I come across. And while I haven't hit the jackpot yet, I like to think I'm one penny away from yelling, "I'm rich." So, there you have it, the story of the 2013 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a cool $1.1 million. Who would have thought that something so small could be so life-changing? It just goes to show that you don't need a treasure map or a pirate's chest to find something valuable. Sometimes, it's right there in your pocket. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, because who knows? They might have a 2013 penny sitting in their piggy bank. And drop a comment below, have you ever found a rare coin? Let's hear your stories. Hey there, treasure hunters. Let me ask you a question: have you checked your pocket change lately? I mean, really checked it? Because you could be walking around with a 1979 Lincoln penny worth a whopping $1.2 million and not even know it. Yes, you heard that right, a penny that could buy you a luxury car, a house, or even a small island if you're feeling adventurous. Before you roll your eyes and think, "There's no way I have that kind of luck," let me tell you a quick story. I once ignored a pile of coins on my nightstand for months. Then one day, curiosity struck, and I decided to sift through them. Spoiler alert, I didn't find anything worth millions, but I did discover a weak penny worth $50. And let me tell you, that feeling of holding something rare and valuable is addictive. So, buckle up, because today, we're diving into everything you need to know about the elusive 1979 Lincoln penny that's been turning heads in the coin collecting world. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1979 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, and the D mint mark right below the date is the giveaway. At first glance, it looks like your average penny. It's copper-colored, has good ol' Honest Abe on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But the magic is in the details. Drumroll, please, it's all about the error. Coin collectors love errors, and this particular penny has some wild ones. The most valuable 1979 pennies have a doubled die obverse. That's fancy coin speak for a mistake during the minting process that caused Lincoln's face or the text to appear slightly doubled. It's like the coin had a bad day at the factory but ended up becoming a superstar. Now, let me give you a pro tip. You don't need a magnifying glass or some high-tech gadget to spot the error. Just hold the penny up to the light and look closely at the date or the lettering. If it looks like it's got a shadow, bingo. You might just have a winner. Another thing to watch for is the condition of the coin. Collectors call this grade, and the better the grade, the higher the value. If your 1979 D penny looks like it's been through a war, scratched, dull, or corroded, sorry, it's not making you a millionaire. But if it's shiny, crisp, and looks like it was minted yesterday, you're in luck. Now, let's talk about how this penny reached its jaw-dropping $1.2 million price tag. Back in 2019, a 1979 D penny in nearly perfect condition with the doubled die error sold at auction for exactly that amount. Why? Because collectors will pay top dollar for rare coins, especially when they're in mint condition. It's like the Pokemon card craze, but for adults. These pennies aren't just sitting in vaults or museums. They're out there, in circulation, hiding in plain sight. One could be in your pocket right now, just waiting for you to discover it. Let me lighten the mood a bit with a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Joe, once laughed at me for obsessing over pennies. "You're not gonna get rich digging through spare change," he said. Fast forward 6 months, and guess who's calling me in a panic because he found a 1979 penny with a weird mark? That's right, Joe. Spoiler alert, it wasn't worth $1.2 million, but it taught him a valuable lesson: never underestimate the power of a penny. Alright, folks, let's wrap this up. The 1979 D Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes, the little things in life are worth the most. So, next time you're about to toss a penny into a tip jar or leave it behind at the gas station, think twice. Who knows? That penny could be your golden ticket, or, in this case, your copper ticket to a life-changing payday. And if you learned something new today or you're ready to raid your coin jar, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I'm here every week with tips, stories, and strategies to help you turn everyday coins into extraordinary finds. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment about your favorite coin find, and share this with a friend who could use some extra cash or just a good laugh. Imagine this: you're going through your coin jar, thinking you're just grabbing some spare change for a cup of coffee, and bam! You find a penny. Not just any penny, though. It's a 1967 Lincoln penny, and guess what? It's worth more than that fancy latte you were about to buy. So, what's the deal with this penny and why is it suddenly worth a fortune? Well, stick around because we're diving deep into the 1967 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and I'm about to show you why it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Alright, before we get all excited about this golden, or should I say copper, discovery, let's back up a bit. First things first, the 1967 Lincoln penny. Why is it such a big deal? Is it magic? No, sadly it doesn't come with a wand, but it does come with a pretty interesting story. Let's talk about the basics. You might think, hey, it's just a penny. But, turns out, not every penny is created equal. In 1967, the U.S. Mint was cranking out pennies like there was no tomorrow. They were all over the place, popping up in your pocket change, in your car's cup holder, and most importantly, probably stuck to the bottom of your couch cushions. Most of these pennies are, well, worth a penny. But that 1967 penny? It's no ordinary coin. Here's where it gets interesting. You see, in 1967, most pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint and had no mint mark. Now, the regular ones? Worth pretty much nothing more than their face value, around 1 cent. But some of these no mint mark pennies are extremely rare because they're the result of some minting mistakes or errors during production. It's like when you accidentally make an extra crispy batch of cookies. Sometimes, mistakes make things worth more. Fast forward to 1967, one of these no mint mark pennies found its way to the market, and bam, someone noticed its rarity. And, suddenly, it wasn't just a penny anymore. The thing is, coins like this, with an error or rare characteristic, are highly sought after by collectors, especially if they come in good condition. And believe me, finding one in perfect condition is like finding a needle in a haystack. So, how does a little penny like this turn into a $1.3 million coin? Well, let's talk about rarity and condition. A 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in perfect mint condition, known as MS-67, is the holy grail for coin collectors. These rare pennies don't just come from any old change jar, they're from the kind of collections that make collectors drool. If you have one that's almost flawless, with no wear on the details, it could easily fetch that $1 million price tag. Now, I know what you're thinking: is my penny worth $1.3 million? Well, let's pump the brakes for a second. Not every 1967 penny is worth a fortune. The condition is everything. If your penny looks like it's been through the washing machine 30 times, well, it's probably not making you rich anytime soon. But here's the kicker: I once found a 1967 no mint mark penny in my change jar. Now, I wasn't holding my breath, but it was one of those wow, look at this moments. It looked pretty clean, had that nice copper shine, and for a second, I thought maybe I struck gold. Or at least copper. Long story short, it wasn't worth millions, but it was still pretty cool to find something that could have been a rare gem. The point is, it's always worth checking your change. We're talking about a penny that's been tucked away in your pocket, in your car, or maybe even in a dusty old jar for decades. It could be your lucky day. So, there you have it. The 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is more than just a piece of pocket change, it's a potential gold mine. Or copper mine, depending on how you want to look at it. It's proof that with a little luck and a keen eye, you could turn your everyday change into something worth a lot of money. Before I wrap up, here's a fun thought for you. Next time you're digging through your old coins, remember that one penny could make you a millionaire, or at least buy you a pretty nice dinner, depending on how much luck you've got. And hey, if you want to learn more about rare coins, tips for spotting valuable pennies, or even strategies for building your own coin collection, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future tips and coin craziness that could change your life. Oh, and don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed this little adventure into the world of rare coins. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you next time with more coin stories, tips, and a little bit of luck. Happy hunting, folks! Hey, fellow coin collectors! You ever stumble upon a coin that makes you think, could this little piece of metal actually make me a millionaire? Well, let me tell you, if you're holding a 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny in your hands right now, you might just have one of the most unexpected treasure chests hiding in plain sight. This penny, folks, could be worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yup, you heard me right, $1.4 million. Trust me, I get it. I've been there too, rolling through change and not giving those pennies a second glance, but this one? This one's different. Stick with me, and I'll explain why the 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just any ordinary coin. I'll also share a little personal story about how I once thought I had a rare coin only to realize it was just, well, a penny. Spoiler alert, I didn't get rich off it, but it was still a learning moment, so grab your magnifying glass, or maybe just your regular old eyes, and let's dive into the world of this penny and why it could be worth more than your car, your house, or that old couch you've been meaning to replace. If you're wondering how a penny from 1964 ended up being worth $1.4 million, here's the lowdown. Mint marks are typically found on the reverse side of U.S. coins, right? They tell us where the coin was made: Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, you name it. But in 1964, some clever little pennies slipped through the cracks, or rather, the minting process, without any mint mark. And that's where things get spicy now. Let me rewind for a sec and give you a little history lesson. 1964 was a big year for pennies. The U.S. was knee-deep in the post-war era, and people were finding all sorts of coins circulating. The penny in question wasn't supposed to have a mint mark at all. Remember, mint marks are typically found on coins produced in different U.S. mints. But in 1964, a few pennies slipped out of the Philadelphia mint without that little letter. These missing mint mark coins are rare, and when something's rare, it can be worth a lot of cash. And here's the kicker: the 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny is valuable because it's an anomaly. Think about it, a minting mistake is like finding a misprinted baseball card. People go wild for those. So, if you're lucky enough to have one of these little guys in your collection, you're holding on to something that could be worth an astonishing $1.4 million today, depending on its condition. Alright, let me pause here and tell you a funny personal story. A couple of years ago, I was going through a bunch of pennies I had inherited from my grandfather. I was convinced I had stumbled upon the rarest penny ever. I mean, I thought it was the holy grail, no mint mark, 1970s, how could it not be worth something? I spent hours researching it, texting my friends, sending pictures, all the while dreaming of buying that new car. Then, I sent it to a coin expert for an appraisal, and they hit me with the sad truth: it's just a regular penny, my friend. I was crushed. But hey, it's a lesson learned: don't get too attached to every penny you find. Sometimes, it's just a penny, but not the 1964 no mint mark Lincoln penny. If you find this one, don't let it go. Seriously. It's a great reminder that there are treasures hiding in our change jars, and you just might be one lucky penny away from a serious windfall. It's all about rarity and condition. A coin in pristine condition could fetch upwards of $1.4 million in today's market. Of course, you need to know a few things when assessing its value: its grade, how well it's been preserved, and whether it has any other unique characteristics. Coins that have survived decades without significant wear are the ones that get the highest prices. How do I even know if my penny is one of these rare ones? Well, first things first, you want to inspect it under good lighting. Is it shiny? Are there any unique markings or wear patterns? It's all about those subtle details. And while you're at it, don't forget to check the reverse side for any unusual signs that could make your penny stand out. If you happen to find one in mint condition, get it graded by a professional. Coin grading services can assess the quality and assign a grade, which could massively increase its market value. A penny in MS67, mint state 67, condition, for example, could fetch a lot more than a coin that's been through the ringer with scratches and dirt marks. So, there you have it. The 1964 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a random coin. It's a rare anomaly that could make you a serious amount of money if you have the right one in the right condition. And hey, if you're like me and love to dive into the world of rare coins, now you know what to look for when sifting through your pennies. I can't stress this enough: take your time, be patient, and who knows? You might just find a gem worth more than you could imagine. Before I wrap up, I want to give you a little nudge to start digging through those change jars and change bowls, because who knows what treasure is buried in there. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips and strategies on coins that could be worth millions, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for more stories, tips, and tricks to help you turn your pennies into piles of cash. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and remember, one man's junk is another man's treasure. Catch you in the next one. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell icon so you won't miss any of my future tips. And if you've got a rare coin hiding in your collection, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your treasure hunting adventures. Hey there, coin enthusiasts. So, you're probably thinking, what's the deal with a 2017 penny? Does it really have any value? Well, let me tell you, this little copper disc has turned into one of the most unexpected treasures for collectors. If you've got one of these, you might just have a goldmine sitting in your pocket. Or maybe your couch cushions, where all the best coins seem to hide. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and you'll find out why this penny is worth much more than just its 1-cent value. Trust me, it's worth a lot more than that. So, let's dive in, folks. The 2017 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just your everyday change. You've probably seen this penny hundreds of times. Heck, you might even have a few of them tucked away. But did you know it's now going for a sweet $1.5 million in some cases? Yeah, you heard me right, that tiny little penny can be worth a fortune if you have the right one. Now, let's rewind for a second and talk about the history of this coin. In 2017, the U.S. Mint decided to mark the 225th anniversary of the mint itself with a special coin design. They placed the P mint mark, something we don't usually see on pennies, right there on the front, which made this penny the first ever to have the P mint mark. And because of that little P, it's become a bit of a legend among collectors. The 2017 Lincoln penny is unique, and as we all know, unique is valuable when it comes to coins. Not every penny has that mint mark, so finding one is like finding a 4-leaf clover in a field of regular clovers. Well, except for, it's a penny, not a clover. Okay, so let's talk about what makes this penny worth so much. It's rare, sure, but it's also in the condition. If you have one in excellent condition, with hardly any signs of wear, it could skyrocket in value. Now, I'm not saying you should check every penny you find in your pocket right now, though it wouldn't hurt to glance at them next time you're at the vending machine or the laundromat. I remember one time, I was at a yard sale, and there was this old box of loose coins sitting in the corner. I almost ignored it, thinking it was just a bunch of junk. But then I thought, hey, what's the harm in taking a quick look? And wouldn't you know it, sitting in the middle of that pile was a shiny 2017 penny, just staring at me like it had been waiting all these years to make me a millionaire. Alright, I'm exaggerating, but it definitely had potential. I grabbed that penny, took it home, and guess what? After a bit of research, I found out it could be worth a lot more than I thought. Anyway, long story short, that penny didn't end up being worth a fortune for me, but the moral of the story is, you've got to check your coins. You never know when you might come across a hidden gem. Now, how do you tell if your 2017 penny is one of the valuable ones? It comes down to its grade. If your coin is in mint condition, meaning it has no scratches, no signs of heavy use, and still shines like it did when it first left the mint, well, that's what sets it apart. Remember, collectors and investors are looking for coins in excellent shape. But here's the thing, it's not just about the condition. If you happen to have a 2017 penny with an error, like a double strike or some other kind of mistake, that's where the real value kicks in. These errors are like the unicorns of the coin world. The rarer the error, the more it's worth. Don't let your 2017 Lincoln penny just sit in your change jar without a second thought. It could be worth a ton, especially if it's in great condition or has an error. And the best part? You don't need to be a professional coin dealer to spot it. Just take a closer look, do a bit of research, and who knows, you might be holding on to your very own hidden treasure. Alright, folks, that's it for today. I hope I've got you checking your pennies with a little more excitement now. If you've learned something new and you want more tips on coins worth money, strategies for spotting rare finds, or just to hear me ramble about pennies for a while, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on what's coming next. And hey, if you find a 2017 penny in perfect condition, drop a comment below. I'll be over here hoping you find that $1.5 million gem. Good luck, and happy hunting. Alright, folks, gather around, because what I'm about to tell you is a game changer. I'm holding something right here in my hand that could be worth, wait for it, $1.6 million. Yep, you heard me right, a coin worth that much. Now, I know what you're thinking, but it's just a penny. Well, hold your horses, my friend, because today we're diving into the world of the 1997 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and trust me, it's got a story to tell that's way more exciting than just being the tiniest coin in your pocket. Now, we all know the good old penny, the coin that seems to show up at the worst times. You know, like when you're digging through your couch cushions or at the bottom of your pocket, and suddenly, there it is, staring you down like, oh, you thought you were gonna get some change? But, hey, not all pennies are created equal, especially when we're talking about the 1997 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This little guy, folks, is not your typical pocket change. In fact, if you happen to have one of these in your collection, hold on tight, it could be worth up to $1.6 million. And no, I'm not kidding, and no, this is not a typo. Before you start going crazy looking through your coin jar, let me give you a little background on why this penny is so special. The 1997 D-Mint penny, while seemingly ordinary, is one of those coins that slipped through the cracks and, over time, became a rarity due to small minting errors, die issues, or just sheer rarity. It's one of those coins that's been quietly living in circulation, making its way into collectors' hands without anyone realizing what they're actually holding. To make it more exciting, the mint mark on these coins, the D, is crucial. That tiny little D stands for the Denver Mint, which means this coin was made at that specific facility. And in the world of coin collecting, location matters. The Denver Mint has always had its quirks when it comes to minting, and sometimes those quirks end up producing coins that are worth more than their face value, much more. Okay, so why is this 1997 D penny so valuable? It's all about rarity. You see, not every 1997 D penny is worth a fortune. But if your coin has certain characteristics, like a rare die error or a unique minting flaw, it can be worth thousands, even millions, of dollars. It's like finding a four-leaf clover, but in coin form. There are a few key things collectors look for in these pennies. For one, the condition of the coin matters a lot. You want to check if your penny is in mint condition, or even better, mint state, which means it looks like it just rolled off the press. Anything with scratches, wear, or damage is going to lower the value. Well, you've got something special. There are also a handful of 1997 D pennies with slight misprints or imperfections, and those are the ones collectors go wild for. Think of it like finding the perfect pizza slice with extra cheese, just the right amount of everything. Even if you don't think you have one of these rare coins, sometimes people don't even realize the value of what they have. Imagine being that person who finds out their spare penny is worth a small fortune. Yeah, that's the dream. Speaking of dreams, let me tell you a little story about a time I thought I struck it rich, and then quickly realized I was getting way too excited for no reason. So, I was going through my old coin collection the other day. Yes, I have one, and yes, it's as nerdy as it sounds. But I came across this coin I thought was an absolute jackpot, a 1943 penny. The thing was in decent condition, and I had this moment where I was like, this is it. I'm gonna buy a yacht. Turns out, it was just a regular OL copper penny, not the rare steel one, which is what makes the 1943 penny worth a lot. Sigh. So I learned my lesson: just because it looks old, doesn't mean it's worth $1,000,000. But hey, it got me researching more about coins that actually are worth something, like the 1997 D penny. So, now that you've got the lowdown on the 1997 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, I'm sure you're rushing to check your piggy bank or that old jar of coins you've been ignoring for years. But hey, before you start thinking you're going to retire off one of these pennies, remember that condition is key, and rarity plays a huge role in determining value. But if you happen to find one of these bad boys, congratulations. You might be sitting on a small fortune. And if not? Well, don't worry, because there are plenty of other rare and valuable coins out there that could make you a pretty penny, pun intended. And hey, if you want to stay updated on the latest coin finds, valuable tips, and coin strategies that could make you a millionaire, or at least make you the coolest person at your next dinner party, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment down below if you've ever found a coin that made you do a double take. Remember, folks, the next $1.6 million penny could be sitting in your pocket, so keep looking. And until next time, keep those coins coming and those searches rolling. Happy collecting, everyone! Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you've ever dug through a jar of loose change and found that one coin that makes you do a double take, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're staring at it like, is this thing worth something, or did I just find a shiny piece of history? Well, today we're diving into a penny that has a story that'll make you want to check every coin you've got lying around the house. I'm talking about the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny. This little guy is worth about $1.7 million right now. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.7 million. So, if you've got one of these hiding in a drawer, or maybe buried under some couch cushions, stick around because you could be sitting on a small fortune now. Before you rush off to find every penny you own, grab a snack, sit back, and let's figure out how this one coin went from humble beginnings to being worth a fortune. And trust me, you're gonna want to stick around till the end. I've got a funny story about one of my own coin hunts that might just make you laugh. Let's get into it. Alright, let's start with the basics. What's so special about the 1977 no mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, normally, pennies come stamped with a mint mark to let us know where they were made. A D means Denver, an S means San Francisco, and of course, a blank spot on a penny usually means it was minted in Philadelphia. But here's the catch: the 1977 no mint mark penny was supposed to have a mint mark, but for some reason, it didn't. That mistake makes this penny rare, so rare, in fact, that it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. And you know what's even crazier? Most people still don't even realize they have it. Well, some folks think it was a mistake during the minting process. Maybe the engraver had a little too much coffee that morning, or maybe the machine just decided to throw a little curveball into history. Whatever the reason, this little oversight turned out to be a big deal. But how do you know if you've got one of these golden tickets hiding in your pocket change? Well, first off, it's got to be a 1977 penny with no mint mark. If you've got a 1977 penny with a D or an S, you can keep looking. But if it's completely blank, bingo, my friend, you might have struck gold now. Before you get too excited and start looking at every 1977 penny you can find, there's a catch. Not every 1977 penny with no mint mark is worth $1 million. The ones that fetch the big money are in mint condition, pun intended. We're talking about coins that have been preserved in perfect or near perfect condition, with no wear and tear, no scratches, no discoloration, and no dirt or corrosion. If your 1977 penny has been through the ringer, then unfortunately, it won't fetch you millions, but hey, it could still be worth more than the face value, so don't toss it out just yet. Now, here's the fun part. I once found a coin in my change jar that I thought was worth a fortune. I'm talking about an old, dirty penny that had seen better days. I was so excited, I rushed to a coin dealer, practically shouting, "I've got a gold mine!" Well, turns out, it wasn't as valuable as I thought. It wasn't a rare penny at all. But that didn't stop me from feeling like I'd found the next big thing. Moral of the story: don't get too excited until you know for sure, but hey, it's a great reminder that coin collecting is really about the thrill of the hunt. There's something exciting about finding something that might just turn out to be more valuable than you ever imagined. I mean, think about it. Back in the 70s, who would have guessed that one little penny would be worth millions? Alright, so let's talk about how you can go about selling your 1977 no mint mark penny if you do find one in top condition. First things first, you want to get your penny appraised by a professional. These experts can help determine whether your coin is actually worth a fortune or if it's just a regular penny in disguise. Once you get it appraised, you can either sell it at auction or work with a trusted dealer to find the right buyer. Just make sure you're not getting scammed in the process, because, unfortunately, there are some people out there who would love to take advantage of coin collectors. The 1977 no mint mark penny is one of those rare finds that could make you a millionaire if you're lucky enough to have one in your collection. And even if you don't have a 1977 no mint mark penny, the world of coin collecting is filled with hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. The key is knowing what to look for, keeping your eyes peeled, and learning as much as you can about the coins you come across. Before I wrap up, I just want to remind you that if you're serious about coin collecting or even just interested in learning more about valuable coins, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories to share, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's coming next. Plus, who knows, you might just find the next rare coin worth millions by following along. So, don't forget to subscribe, share this video with your friends who love coins, and leave a comment telling me about your own coin collection or any rare coins you found. Hey there, coin enthusiasts! So, picture this: you're digging through a box of old pennies, casually checking for something cool, when, bam, you spot a 1992 D Lincoln penny. At first glance, it seems like just another penny, right? But what if I told you that this little piece of copper could be worth a whopping $1.8 million? Yep, you heard me right, $1.8 million. Now, don't go running off to check your spare change just yet. But stick around, because today we're diving into everything you need to know about this unexpected treasure. And trust me, you'll want to know why your pocket change might be worth way more than you think. Now, let's talk about this shiny little guy right here. The 1992 D Lincoln penny. I mean, it's a coin you might have picked up at the gas station without a second thought. But, let me tell you, there's a story behind this coin that could make your jaw drop. Grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. So, why is this seemingly ordinary 1992 D penny worth so much? Well, here's the kicker: it's all about a minting error. Specifically, this penny was struck with a unique, rare misalignment that makes it stand out from the rest. Coin collectors love finding these types of errors because they make the coin super valuable. The thing is, not all 1992 D pennies are worth a fortune, only those with that specific error. You could have one in your pocket right now, or you could have one sitting in your coin jar. Don't worry, I'll tell you how to spot it in just a bit. Now, before you rush to check your own pennies, let's take a minute to talk about the minting process and why these types of errors happen in the first place. When a coin is struck at the U.S. Mint, it's pressed with high pressure, which causes the die to imprint the design onto the metal. But sometimes, during this process, a small mistake happens. Maybe the dies aren't aligned perfectly, or the pressure's a bit off. And boom, you get a coin that's far from the usual production line. Now, don't go thinking you've found a fortune just because you have a 1992 D penny in your collection. You need to check for those telltale signs of the error. If you've got one of these, you're looking at a potential $1.8 million windfall. Here's the thing: this kind of rare penny isn't something you find every day. The 1992 D pennies that were struck with this error are incredibly rare. It's like finding a 4-leaf clover in a field of 3-leaf ones. The combination of rarity and the error makes it so valuable, and coin collectors are willing to pay top dollar for it. But, let's be real. How many of us have actually checked our change thoroughly? I know I haven't. You know, back in the day, I found a random penny on the sidewalk. Classic move, right? And I remember thinking, oh cool, free penny, I'm rich. Well, fast forward to me Googling rare penny on my phone and getting totally excited when I read about pennies worth millions, only to find out my sidewalk penny was, well, a regular penny. So, lesson learned, folks, check your change, and maybe don't get too excited until you've done the research. Alright, let's talk about how you can spot this elusive 1992 D mint mark penny error. You'll want to look for any signs of misalignment in the design, especially around Abraham Lincoln's portrait and the date. That's the giveaway. If it's not perfectly lined up, you've got yourself a potential goldmine. Oh, and don't forget to check the reverse side as well, because the error can show up there too. If you've got that misalignment, it's time to start dreaming of your $1 million payday. Here's a quick comparison. See how the design looks slightly off on the misaligned coin? That's the error we're talking about. If you find one of these, you could be sitting on a rare treasure. Now, just because you've got a 1992 D penny with a misalignment, doesn't mean it's automatically worth $1.8 million. The condition of the coin matters too. A penny that's been tossed around in your pocket for years won't fetch top dollar. But if you've got one that's in great condition, you could be looking at a nice payout from a collector. Speaking of which, if you do find a rare penny, make sure you get it graded by a professional. That way, you'll know its true value. The higher the grade, the more valuable it'll be. The 1992 D Lincoln penny with that rare misalignment is a collector's dream. It's not something you find every day, but if you've got one hiding in your collection or coin jar, it could be your ticket to a serious payday. And hey, if you're going to start checking your change like a pro, I've got plenty more tips and strategies to help you find those hidden gems in your pockets. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth big money. I've got lots of great content coming your way, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned coin collector, we're all in this treasure hunt together. And who knows? Maybe your next lucky penny is just a few clicks away.